personally, and I've always had a mind for details. Where someone was born, next of kin. You'd be shocked how often an otherwise brilliant criminal flees to the planet just next to the one where they were born, or where a family member resides. I simply use my own personal knowledge and the information our group collects for me to track them down and set things right. There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the colony war ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know. Captain, your files indicate a track record of unlikely successes. It is my genuine hope that, perhaps down the line, you might become a part of our team. And this might be something of a tryout. Speak to Deputy McIntyre. I'm sure she'd be happy to hear that someone might be tying up this loose end at long last. Though I would ask you, do not make the mistake of confusing me for a simple cutthroat. Continue whenever you like. You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it. If that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf system. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
Identity verified. You may proceed to the exit.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space or got separated.
Captain, did your meeting go well? I hope it's clear now why we needed you to agree to all the secrecy. Surprised me too when I learned it. But the prisoner has proven useful over the years, and kept far from any major decision-making. But I do think it's worth re-emphasizing. No one else can know about this. All right? The Major doesn't have clearance for this sort of information, and she certainly doesn't need a distraction from her current, very important work. Which is why I need you to keep this to yourself. Good. Because bringing this up to the outside world would create the unfair appearance, Captain, that you're unhinged. And that's not a good look for any of us. Now, was there something in particular you needed to discuss about what we were just discussing? Dr. Reginald Orlaise? He's finally found him. Of course, killing Orlaise is completely out of the question, but bringing him to justice... He's been on the lam for years. That'd be a huge win for the UC. What's being offered in return? Really? He found the members of the research team. We'd already initiated a search for them, but it'd save a lot of time and manpower if he just gave us that information. Captain, if that's the deal, you have my endorsement. Just so long as you make every effort to bring the man in alive. Now, was there anything else you wanted to discuss regarding your meeting? Trusting the man downstairs would be a mistake, but I don't think you need to be too concerned. This is far from the first name he's handed over, and all previous missions went off largely without a hitch. So while I'd certainly warrant caution, I think you can proceed. The Den? It's a star station, orbiting Wolf, the second star station actually to bear that title. The first one was blown to smithereens by House Varun during the Serpent's Crusade. The place has always acted as a remote strategic hub, primarily for repairing and refueling UC military vessels. But because of its distance from the rest of the UC, things there have always been a little more lax. Patrols included. I can think of worse places in the galaxy for a criminal to hide out. Then I'll bid you good day, Captain, and remind you of the importance of discretion.
Yes? What?
I trust you are well. I will watch your back. I may not quite enjoy New Atlantis, but this... this is much better.
I'm up for a little adventure.
Oh, good. Story time.
Love it. So Ellie contacted me about the case. Same. I was beginning to get worried since we hadn't heard from her. But that's interstellar communication for you. Anyway, we have a verdict. Irvin's record will be expunged on account of his death occurring before the trial ended. It's a technical victory, but we'll take it. We can't change the system that made this happen. But I'm glad we tried. Well, she's going to keep up the fight. Gagarin is full of cases, just like Irvin's, if you can believe it. Relieved. This was always in the back of my mind. Always there when I fell asleep and when I woke up. And I would mask it as much as I could. Hide the sorrow with my wit, hide the anxiety with my charm. The grief will always be there. But it's something I feel I can move past now. Already did, of course. And a third of the settlement. Just made sense considering how much she did for us. And speaking of the settlement, I divided it into equal portions for me, you, Ellie, and expenses. Here's your share. And I sold the apartment. So here's the bonus from that after taxes. I gave my portion to Ellie so she could fund other cases. So there it is. I guess it's over. Ellie tried to convince the judge to dismiss Helge's conviction from years ago as well, but the judge didn't think that was warranted. Helge was having a rough time. We tried, but he didn't make it easy. Also, well, so I gave Helge a bit of money. Enough to leave Gagarin if he wanted, just in case. We knew we couldn't fix the whole system. I'm just glad we could do what we did. I wish we could have helped more people ruined by Hephaestus. But that isn't our fight. Until somebody changes the laws there, this will be just a bump in the road for them. Ellie is going to keep digging into them, and now that she's seen this tactic, she may be able to find a pattern. There it is. I guess I needed to actually hear someone say it. Case closed. Whew. Finally. It's not lost on me that you've encouraged me to pursue this investigation from the beginning, you know. I appreciate your support more than you can imagine. Thanks, Captain. I'm glad you haven't changed your mind on working with others after all this. A long time ago, you talked about valuing teamwork. You really meant it. Don't tell the others. But I was having a hard time focusing because of all this trial stuff. So thank you for helping with that. As close as we've gotten? I believe that. Usually Vasco's the only one I trust. Granted, he's programmed not to blab. With you, no special protocols required. Anyway, I'm just glad we got everything settled with Irvin's case. It was just one loose end in a universe full of them. But I'm glad it's tied.
Late at night in dive bars, sometimes the old-timers share stories.
One-liner moments.
About things they've
Yes,
seen that
Barry.
they just couldn't
Number
explain.
3. Your
Ghost
retort
stories,
to
if you
the
will.
Crimson
I've heard of
Fleet
things like the Starfield
on
before.
Leonis 3.
Yes.
But
Classic.
Number
real.
2. Your wise
Honest to God,
about
real.
the Ashta and the Miner to the patrons of the Stone Root Inn.
I genuinely considered mass hysteria.
Number 1. Your
But the sensor logs confirm it. It's real. So the obvious question is, what the hell are they? Everyone's gonna be thinking aliens, but maybe not. Their ships were incredible, but they still felt like ships. They had engines, weapons, I think I even made out a grav drive. If they were really alien, I would just expect it to be more alien, you know? I mean, it could be some secret Freestar Varun or UC tech, but I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. But if someone, anyone, had that much of an edge on the others, the whole balance of power would shift, right? It'd be one hell of a conspiracy to keep it quiet. An even greater amount of restraint to keep it in your back pocket. Exactly. I'm gonna throw out another wild stab in the dark theory. Maybe they're from outside our known systems. Here's the hypothetical. Centuries ago, some brainiac scientists decide to play settler. But they go way, way beyond any place we've ever been to set up stakes. Once they get there, they make a few lucky breakthroughs, and their science just snowballs from there. I could see them getting further, faster, and hence become the Starborn. If I got it right, then you owe me a steak dinner. One way or the other, we are not alone. And that's that's both exciting and terrifying.
I hope you are satisfied with the quarters available to you.
I do appreciate that not every meter of land was plowed under to build this city. This tree is far too grand for such a fate.
Promised impossibilities and performed nothing.
I'm always ready to make a deal. Welcome to Feeling Realty. I'm Zora, and I'm here to help with whatever you may need. What brings you in today? Looking to settle down, or move up in the world, or just window shopping? I don't blame you. It's a lovely city, the crown jewel of the UC. I'm here if you have any more questions, or if you'd like to look at properties. Oh, don't I wish. Between UC regulations and demand here in the city, I haven't had a chance to branch out yet. But you best believe I'm keeping an eye on the situation and actively lobbying for a little more leeway. Well, first of all, let me just say congratulations on becoming a United Colony citizen. Let's see what we have available. Right now, I've got a little place in the well that's up for grabs. Needs some work, and the location is less than ideal, but it's a foot in the door, so to speak. I have a penthouse apartment in one of the residential towers. I forgot. Government has dibs on that one. Well, if it comes back on the market, I'll let you know. Sound like something you're interested in? Great! It's very cozy. I'm sure you'll love it. I'll just process the transaction and make sure ownership is transferred. And the apartment is all yours. Congratulations. I'm always here if you're looking for a new home.
You would think that deadly predators would have driven off settlers. Humans. We can be so stubborn.
Sometimes intuition and gut matters more.
The services tech is the heart of the process.
Nice stuff living here, but live on your own.
John still take Geo's up.
Tough as they come, but
He is not here. I am disappointed, but relieved somehow.
I love you like a brother, man, but maybe I don't know, lay off.
You're right. I'm sorry. Someone here must know more. We should inquire about him. Yes, Aggies. I have spent far too much time here. I do not recommend it.
Hear about the blood stain. This bar may be tougher than you can handle. More and more as time goes on. Plenty of folks looking to get out from under the thumb of the UC, or taking their first steps to being independent. City's been slow to keep up with all the new people. Took them forever to put up the outer walls, and at this rate, they'll need to expand again soon. You surprised or disappointed? It's my name on the outside, isn't it? Been here too damn long to let someone else come in and muck it up. Hell, even finding decent help isn't worth the trouble half the time. Ethan's got half a brain in his head, seems like, so maybe he'll work out. You ain't here looking for Erin. She is.
Hello, Aggie. I was unsure whether you would remember me. It has been a long time.
I ain't likely to forget you anytime soon. I don't know. You tell me. You're the one blundering in here with her in tow, asking questions. Don't try to play tough with me. I ain't got the time or the patience for it. She didn't ruin Aaron's life enough the first time, huh? Back for more?
Ruined his life? How dare you?
Did she tell you what she did to him? How she left him bleeding on some godforsaken rock in the middle of nowhere? Now, after all this time, you could have dropped in any time in, the last 9 years or so. Maybe that wouldn't have been too convenient for you, though. Aaron sat in that corner for years, scared of his own shadow, convinced the damned zealots were coming back to finish the job. The few credits he had to rub together that didn't get spent on drink, he spent on setting himself up someplace where they couldn't find him. Wouldn't trust anyone that walked through the door. Only ever talked to me when he was drunk enough. If either of you cared, you wouldn't just be showing up now. Aaron ain't been in here for almost a year now. Showed up one day saying he'd gone and got himself set up on Hyla 2, thanking me for letting him stay here so often. It was the closest I'd seen him to happy in I don't know how long. And that was it. Never came through the door again.
Did he ever mention me?
You mean, did he blame you? That's what you want to know. I know guilt when I see it. Don't try and deny it.
Fine. Did he blame me?
No. Believed you were one of the good ones, right up until the last time I talked to him. Me? I don't think your kind has good ones.
My kind?
I know what you are. You take your holier-than-thou bullshit and your great serpent and shove them.
You dare insult me like this when I have come to you asking for help. I should kill you where you stand. Fine. Fine. Let us leave this place at once.
Well, this has been so much fun. You see Aaron, you tell him I got a bottle of his favorite stashed away if he ever shows up again. But honestly, I'm hoping he doesn't.
How can I assist? We have something to go on, at least. I am grateful that you showed some compassion, despite that woman's attitude. I do not have your patience. And yet it is my past we are trying to clear up. That is... It means a lot. I'm eager to reach Hyla too, and speak to Aaron. Perhaps there is something we can do to help him. Provide him a sense of safety. Yes, please. He is a quiet man, reserved. I believe he had lived through a great many hardships, though he never spoke of them. I never felt it proper to ask. He valued his personal space and quiet moments. It was one thing we always shared in common. Years ago, I had heard he was alive, but did not attempt to contact him. I did not feel it was right. I hope this is not a mistake. I do not know, not for sure. I did not see them fall that day, and I suppose I have hoped they survived. I admit I have not investigated before now, at least in part because of what I feared I might learn. House Varun is in a distant corner of space, far away from the rest of the settled systems. While this serves our interests, it can also pose challenges. Many critical resources are scarce, and diplomatic relations with the United Colonies and Freestar Collective were tense at the best of times. It was the most practical way to acquire what we need, without raising too many questions. It still is. Another time.
Hey, how are you?
We should be on our guard here. If we could detect the camp from orbit, it means others could too. And I have no idea what fortifications he may have. When we arrive, would you let me speak to him first? I think that is important right now. Thank you. From what Aggie said, it sounds like he has been rather paranoid for years now. That, too, I fear, is my fault. Let us proceed slowly and carefully. I do not want to antagonize him.
If
you need something, I've got your back.
Did you want to discuss something?
Touching down.
Oh! Need a moment to walk. targets. Lost them. I don't know what to say. I thought there would be a chance to speak to him. To make amends. Or at least to hear him curse me for leaving him. I was prepared to accept that. I did not think I would find him like this. At least these vermin didn't get him. He's been gone for... Well, clearly it's been some time. Look around. There will be correspondence from Jade Wong. I am sure of it. This cannot all be for nothing. You found something. Please, let me see it. I should have guessed. Jada was always the one to run towards trouble. Of course she would still be doing it now. In her own way. She has been for as long as I have known her. Jada was younger than some of the other smugglers we contracted. There was concern she would be unreliable. As time went on, we called on her more and more often, eventually relying on her almost exclusively. She was sharp, a skilled pilot and very, very determined. Always talking about her big plans for retirement, how she would live like a queen. I am not surprised that she would desire revenge. But to go this far, we need to find her. But before we go, I've discovered something else. And I do not know what to make of it. Aaron was composing a reply to Jada, but never sent it. It reads as if he was expecting the Zealots to find him. That they knew where to look for him. Clearly he had become paranoid, but that does not mean he was wrong. What bothers me, though, is that he mentions a name he should not know. Tomisar Kadik. Nor should you. For all of my assignments in the settled systems, Tomisar has been my link to House Barun. From him, I have received my orders, and he is the person to whom I have reported my success. He does not work with anyone outside House Barun, and I am the only one who knows how and where to find him. Aaron should never have heard of him. Perhaps. He could have reached out directly, but that would be a surprising breach of protocol. We must first make sure that Jada is safe, and perhaps she will be able to shed light on this. Let us head for the den.
Welcome to the den. If you have business, feel free to land.
Nice clean dock, Captain.
Either she is here, or someone will know where we can find her. She is still alive. I know it.
Got anything you need to offload? Trade authorities always...
I understand this station was once quite the luxurious place for UC military commanders. Based on what I see, I find that very hard to believe.
Only a matter of time before I get promoted out of here.
I really did think this place would see a bit more action.
It would seem more prudent that the UC simply shut down this entire station.
Hey there.
Rather than allow it to endure in this state.
What brings you to the den? Ah, man with a purpose. Good, I like that. Don't worry, I won't ask questions. I know well as anyone that secrets ought to stay secret. Well, you're welcome here, so long as I don't hear you disrespecting the United Colonies military. You got a problem with our history or our heroes? And you can find somewhere else to get yourself a drink. Clear?
That's so. Vanguard pilot. A pretty good one from what I hear. Got a real attitude, though. You could always ask the other Vanguard pilots. Or, since you're already here, I do happen to offer services in exchange for payment. One of those services can be information. You get what I'm saying here? Then I will tell you that I happen to overhear she's out in the Groombridge system. And from what I hear, Reyna ain't happy about it. And our little transaction here is concluded. Pleasure doing business.
Tell me something I don't know. You should have seen this place 30 years ago. UC's best and brightest were in and out of here all the time. But then the colony war and, well, most folks don't like to be honest about that. I ain't one to turn my back on those who saved us in those days. And because I won't dishonor the memory of Vae Victis, business dries up. Ain't my problem that people don't like to face the reality of what happens in wartime. Man was a hero, not a traitor. Oh, he was a brilliant man. Just brilliant. Best leader we could have asked for in a crisis. He made the tough decisions no one else could. Did what needed to be done. Saved our asses. And when it was over, they turned on him. Called him a traitor and executed him. Just shameful. Well, not all of us are just gonna go along with rewriting history. Some of us remember. We saw it happen. Vae Victis sacrificed everything to save the United Colonies. That's what a real hero does. Well, now that depends. You support the UC? Consider yourself a patriot? Sure as hell does. All right, maybe you can help me out. Had some posters made up a while back to remind folks of the good work Vae Victis has done for all of us. Try and push back against all the lies the government tells. I'd put them up here, but that's, caused some friction with the Vanguard pilots. I hate to see them go to waste, though. If a strong-willed, patriotic individual, such as yourself, were to make sure some of them were placed where they could inspire the people of the United Colonies, well, that'd be something. And there'd be some credits in it for anyone helping out the UC. What do you think? I was thinking the well might be a good spot. People down there might be more receptive, don't you think? That's the spirit. All right. Posters are in the back there, and you just let me know when you're done. Long live the UC.
What? Oh, sorry, just terramorph attack. I'm lucky to still be here.
It's a little surprising, isn't it? Out here on the edge of UC space, but it's just so quiet.
I am, hands down, the best pilot in this dome. Don't let anyone tell me different.
Looking to lodge a complaint? Then you want UC security, not the Vanguard. You're here for me? Did I miss a briefing or something? Orlaise. Doesn't ring a bell. Anything you can tell me about him? Seriously? Out here? Surprised they didn't send out a general notice he's in town. Though, I guess there's less a chance he bolts if they keep it hush. But I expect we would have heard something... Wait... The Warlock!
There's been rumor of a ship out there for years now. Doesn't respond to hails, never docks. More than a few amateur investigators have tried to find it, and at least 2 never came back. Aetherius debris fields are plenty dangerous if you're not used to flying in them. But if you're suggesting it might not have been the fields that got them, well, I can give you the coordinates of the Warlock's last sighting. Can't think of a better spot your Orlays might be hiding. Well, the original Den Star Station was destroyed decades ago during the Serpent's Crusade by marauding House Varun zealots. Big part of the remains from those battles ended up gathering around Etheria, forming a nasty debris field. Every now and then, some headstrong scrapper comes limping back because they hit an 80-year-old mine. Or sometimes they don't come back at all. Though, maybe it's not just the field that's been picking them off. I mean, I honestly thought it was just a story board haulers told to amuse each other. But if the pilot of the Warlock really has been dusting our people, well, hopefully you're about to make our skies a whole lot safer. Things you should know? The den's not really that kind of place. This is a quiet assignment. Keep an eye out for pirates, make sure smuggling's kept to a minimum, occasional rescue job out in the debris fields. Otherwise, it's mostly long haulers and staying ready for the day the Collective wants another round, or House Varun comes back in force.